What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an amazing week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really does mean a lot to me, Scorpio, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be a monthly check-in. I'm not sure what my power gesture is going to be for this one, Scorpio, because this is self-growth. So I'll get back to you on that. But we're doing a monthly check-in just to see how you're doing. I'm getting myself together. And, we're just seeing where you're at, Scorpio. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just good energy all around here, Scorpio. Now, with this spread, I'm going to be pulling until Higher Self says stop. We're just going with the flow here, Scorpio. More. And just so you're all aware, this with all of my readings, this is not a gender-specific reading. We're just going to be working with the energies here, Scorpio. And then lastly, more. In case y'all were curious, the decks that I'm using, this one is the Tarot of the Divine deck. And then the Oracle deck that I'm going to be using is the Anatomy of a Witch Oracle deck. And I'll include links for those decks and other decks that I like using down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested, Scorpio. But before we get pulling some more, let's see what's going on here. Interesting. So, Scorpio, I feel like right off the bat here, I feel like we're at this place right now, at least with where we're kind of checking in. Maybe some of us haven't been feeling inspired. I feel like we've been maybe wanting to get something off of the ground here. Maybe we started like a business in the past here, and it's just like, things might not have worked out there, or whatever we're setting out to do. I feel like that. It feels like no matter where we seem to apply our energy, we can't seem to get to a grasp of like what our destiny might be or what our purpose might be. And that's really heavy right off the bat here, because I'm even feeling like we've been in a place of where it's just been like kind of like hurdle after hurdle here. It's been nothing. I feel like it's been kind of hard to find ways to be grateful for what's been going on. It's just been, you get one step ahead and then something happens and then we're like 5 steps back again. And Scorpio, that's really tough to be starting out with here. I feel like this is going to be a pretty transformative one for you this month. I really feel like you're going to really need to really tap into your abilities here and kind of do a real deep dive of what it is that you enjoy creating. When I think about manifestation, this is something that I've been thinking about quite a lot, and how that looks on other signs and all of that. And when we think of the pages are like our energies for like inspiration. If we've been feeling in a place of where we've been kind of blocked, or like maybe we'll have a good idea, but we're not sure how to maybe apply it practically in this realm here. We want to do the things that we love. I feel like we want it to be in a place where that's kind of like supporting us here. But I feel like, Scorpio, that maybe for some of us, maybe we might be kind of more focused on if we're letting the security of our joy be the drive here. I think it's time to kind of reevaluate what our destiny is. And let me kind of go a little bit more into that. What I mean by that is, when you're going to create and when you're going to manifest, what is your main drive? Is it just, because I feel like when we go in, just manifesting just for the sake of like creation, just for raising our vibrations, just to feed our souls and to fulfill ourselves. I feel like that's when everything else starts to fall into place, when this wheel of fortune starts making sense, and then how we can apply it practically in this realm here. Because I'm thinking about, if we've been in this place of where we're having like, maybe like a writer's block, or, just not feeling inspirational, or feeling inspired or anything, or something along those lines. A good way to remind yourself of your manifesting abilities, just write some of this stuff down, Scorpio. I was doing some journaling the other day, and it had dawned on me, like, writing is one of the simplest versions of manifestation, because you're taking your thoughts down, and you're utilizing the tools at your disposal here, and you're manifesting it into this realm. And so that's like your first step. You found a practical approach to bring all of like whatever's going on up here in the dome down here to the home. Oh, I like that, Scorpio. Thanks for that. And see, look at that. You're already inspiring. But I think that, let's get back on track. I think that if we were to do something like that, Scorpio, kind of like maybe start getting our ideas, and maybe if writing's not your jam, maybe do like a vision board. Maybe think about some things that do excite you. Maybe draw your vision, or paint it, or sculpt it, or make music to it, or something, because that's where I feel like the thing about creativity, sometimes I think that we think, and it's one that I've been reading this book, and as I'm going through it, I'm slowly kind of talking about it, but I've enjoyed the experience so far. But one thing that I've realized, that sometimes I think when we think about our inspiration, that when we're in like a down mood, when we're we might not just be like feeling it or something like that, that inspiration and creativity and all of that really doesn't care what our mood is. It's just more concerned about what energy are you working with, and what makes sense for you to translate with what you're working with. It's not a matter of, if I'm not feeling, at my best, then I'm not going to create my best work. I feel like it's learn how to manifest when we're not feeling at our best, because life is going to fluctuate. The wheel of fortune, that destiny always fluctuates. But when we learn how to manifest our abilities in that fluctuation, then it doesn't matter when we go to create. We'll know how to make the most of our energies at that time when we're feeling at this thing, and that we can get the best out of every situation, Scorpio. So, any more? Gonna be a profound month for you, just like, it's like, wow, that was like a whole lot to unpack there. That one? Okay. More? Okay. That was a whole lot to unpack there in just like 5 cards here, Scorpio. But I do think that it's some, look at that, more pages. And the pages, Scorpio, I really feel like some of us aren't feeling inspired. And I think that it's something, I really feel like you would probably benefit from trying different ways of maybe like jotting down your ideas. One thing that I've been doing, and like really kind of switching stuff up, even when I've been going to journaling, I've even been having as much fun in the sense of like, I bought these colored, like this set of colored pens. And so every time I do a different entry, I'll do it in a different color. Just something along those lines. I feel like that, you're with all these pages popping up here, I feel like your inner child is trying to get out to play here. I really feel like that there's something that I feel like get into a space where it's just like be kind of silly, maybe do some coloring, do what are some things that brought you joy as a kid? Are you a fan of like riding a bike? When was the last time you rode a bike, or, maybe climbed a tree? Or if you have little ones, when was the last time you kind of got out and played with them, as far as the sense like maybe jumping on the jungle gym or stuff with them, or, running around outside doing something crazy, or something along those lines, Scorpio, anymore. And I think that it's going to be one of those things. Ooh, all those? No, I didn't think so. These? Okay, so we're keeping those, Scorpio. I think that it's one of those things that, that when we start getting in this, maybe start entertaining that inner child, really feeding that energy, considering the idea of trying, because I think maybe too, some of us, I really think that some of us may be kind of focused on like the pinnacle kind of aspect on it here, like as far as like our stability, and where stability, yes, is important, Scorpio. I feel like that if we're hindering this we're doing this thing where we feel like if we don't have stability, then we can't have fun. But you can totally have both. It's just, how does that make sense for you, I feel like we've been in this place of where we've been kind of limiting our creativity and limiting how we can go about accumulating our pentacles and establishing that stability here. I feel like, Scorpio, that it's, because now we got a couple of kings here. Now the energy's just getting bigger here. And I feel like with the King of Pentacles kind of popping up in reverse here, this is going to be a weird way of reading him, but I feel like it's like saying that not to focus so much on the abundance side of it. The abundance is here in the creativity, in the feeling of this stuff. It's that this is Pisces energy here, King of Cups. It's taking, what I was talking about, taking that stuff from the spiritual realm and manifesting it into the material realm, and in finding a way to make that work for you, Scorpio. I wish there was another way, and I'm sure, maybe as we go through this thing, like I'll think of some other ways, but I think that it would benefit your creativity to just focus solely on that, and more so like in what we're feeling. And again, it's not saying to neglect your responsibilities, but just let the creativity just be about the creation, let like, in the fulfillment from all of this stuff here. I feel like that's what's going to keep you emotionally balanced in this situation. And when we're operating from a strong emotional place, then we can manifest, our manifestation abilities become clear. Because even with the King of Pentacles popping in reverse here, Scorpio, that doesn't mean he can't be upright. Because here's the thing with the King of Pentacles, wherever he goes, abundance follows. And if he's in reverse right now, it's just, maybe there's an abundance in a different way that we're just not seeing yet. Because I was just thinking about abundance not too long ago. I had a really nice experience where I was talking with an old friend I honestly hadn't spoken to. We had little discussions kind of on and off back in middle school and high school. So it had been like at least 10 years or so since I'd spoken with them. But I think we had such a more rich conversation this go around than of course, obviously, than when we were in high school. We were, totally different people then. But what I'm getting with that is that after that experience, I didn't that, to me, was abundance, because here I am talking with someone that I hadn't talked to in about a decade, and we were on similar paths on our journey. We were thinking about these really similar type of concepts here, and the fact that people it went to show me that the fact that there were even people discussing this thing was that something oh, good, it sparked a fire in me, to continue what I'm doing on my journey here, and it made me even see abundance in a different standpoint, because that was so, it really was just a rich conversation. It's like something like that you cherish those, And Scorpio, I feel like with this energy too, with this Ten of Wands popping up here, I feel like don't let your creation become a burden. Because that's one thing too, sometimes when I feel like when we're trying to work in our passions and, try to feel those in, and then if we can't get to them the way that we want to, or you know, if we allow, like, if we let it to like start stressing us out, I feel like that's something to where it's like, okay, pause for a second. What is, why does this feel like you're doing a lot right now? You know, what are we feeling stressed about? And then adjust. Because if I had found myself, oddly enough, we're just, see, this is why I like doing the readings like this, Scorpio. We're just changing stories back and forth. You know, there was a period of time here recently when I was like, there was a moment when I was doing stuff with the channel, and I was feeling like really stressed for like no reason, and I was just like, what is that? Like, why is this, there's this dissonance here? And it was just because I was letting this thing kind of stress me out. You know, I was without getting too much into it, I was getting like caught up on some things, but I was stressing out about it. But then when I allowed myself to like relax, it's like, you know, the readings will come, every blah, blah, blah. Like, why are you letting this become a thing? And then as soon as, you know, kind of like took a minute, caught my breath, blah, 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 did all the stuff, we're back flowing again. Everything is fine, you know, anymore. Everything is fine. So that's another thing too, you know, don't let your creativity, you know, and your creation stress you out, you know, like adjust as things make sense, Scorpio. You know, that's working with the energy at its finest. We want to make sure that we're enjoying what we're doing here. Okay. You know, and that's another thing too, Scorpio, when I'm looking at this Four of Wands in reverse. You know, this would be a good time, I think, for you too, to just kind of take a moment each day when you get a chance and just kind of think about what are you grateful for, you know, just like little pockets of time, you know, like it could be grateful for your cup of coffee, tea, beverage in the morning. You know, it could be for good friends, it could be for good family, good health. You know, whatever it is, Scorpio, take a moment. And I find that when we're able to be in those spaces of gratitude as well, you know, that really helps the creative spark light up too. You know, it's just really, really good things can come from this, Scorpio. And you know, I feel like too, with this energy popping up, because I think that sometimes when we get into this place of if we're been feeling like a writer's block or creative block, and we get frustrated and then we just kind of give up. You know, I feel like this is something, don't let that go. You know, the creativity and all of that, never let that go. You know, that's something that's precious. You know, it's a lovely gift to be able to manifest, Scorpio. And it doesn't matter the degree of what it looks, because maybe some of us too, you know, maybe we're worried as far as, you know, when I'm thinking about creations and whatnot, maybe we're worried about what it's going to look like. You know, maybe we think it's like, oh, well, such and such has, you know, such great paintings, you know, I'll never be like them or whatever. And it's right, Scorpio, you'll never be like them. You're going to be like you. You're going to find your greatness, and that's what all you need to worry about. It's like, okay, you do your first thing. Okay, I like this. What would I improve from this thing? And then do that. And then find out what skills you might need to learn, because that's, you never know until you start it. Let's say you're thinking about starting up, let's say maybe woodwork for the first time. Of course it's going to be awkward. You know, you may have in your head, you know, you're building this whole grand wood mansion, but then when you go to actually put it into practice, it's a lopsided birdhouse. And that's okay. Hey, you got a house up. That's the start. That's the exciting part of it. That's oh, look at that. The magician can barely contain herself. It's just like, that's the exciting part of it. Just that creation and looking at that thing, that's where the celebration comes in. Even in those little ones, it may look like, I mean, think about it. When you made stuff as like a kid, you know, when you went to go show that to your parents, it's just like you were proud of this thing. And I feel like it's like being proud of it, no matter what it's looking like, because hey, you at least created something. And if other people have an opinion on that, I would say ask them, when was the last time that they created something? You know, when was the last time that you manifested? Because here's the thing too, you know, when we get in this place of where we start judging other people's creations, that's a weird place to be, Scorpio. That's something I've been really kind of thinking about here lately. And I think that's, even if you are creating, I feel like, who are we to judge other people's creations? Because hey, there's something beautiful here. You know, it's better than, you know, and destruction has its own place in time too, but, you know, I was gonna say it's better than destruction, but it's all a balance. But if here's how I feel like we should look at art, and then I think are we good here? Okay. Here's how I look at art. You know, I feel like we should be in this place of like, I get where maybe something doesn't resonate with you, because that's how I've been looking at it. It's like, because like let's say for example, like I'm a big fan of music. You know, if I listen to music, I used to be back in the past, it's like, oh, I don't like that. You know, such and such is blah blah blah. You know, I can't do this. I would have did blah this and that. And it's just like, well, one, Justin, why aren't you doing this and that? And then, you know, two, it's just like, what are we doing? You know, it's like, just because it's not your jam, this is the person who's showing you this. That's their jam. Don't poo poo all over there. What's making them feel good. And that's where I feel like, you know, the dynamic might need to change as well, Scorpio, is, you know, thinking about it that where it may not resonate with everyone, your art or, you know, whatever it is that you're working on will resonate with someone, because there are a bunch of people out here. There's so many people in the world. You know, if I was worried about with this channel, you know, thinking about like, oh my goodness, you know, when I make this, you know, I just want to, my goal is to have just millions of subscribers, which I mean, that would be fantastic, but that's not the point. The point is to create, the point is to uplift, you know, that's the whole reason why I started this, and to establish a soul tribe here, to raise that vibration through the roof so that you can go out there and do your work, so that, you know, so that we can just so that we can keep the thing going here, Scorpio. So that's where, I don't know if I said we're pulling oracle cards now. And that's you know, Scorpio, I think this is going to be a good month for you as far as, no, okay, this one, cool. As far as like manifesting, you know, I think that this is a great place, because I feel like that maybe we're thinking too hard about how to do this thing. And I think that sometimes where I get wanting to have like a plan and things like that, I just say go for it, you know, and you'll just adjust as need be. You know, it's because here's the thing too, you know, I think about your sign, and not that I think that you can't initiate things anymore. Not that I don't think that you can't initiate anything. But I do feel like that, you know, being a fixed sign, it is harder to start things, but once you get going, man, you can keep it going. So it's just like, keep it going, Scorpio, because your energy is like a river, you know, it's like getting once we get that initial flow going, there ain't nothing that can stop you. So it's just keeping that in mind too, you know, let that, you know, just when we're done manifesting one thing, start creating another. You know, let's not keep this stuff bottled up, Scorpio. Let's not, you know, let's let our energies kind of, you know, just allow themselves to express themselves. You know, not to keep them in a cage. You know, let that allow yourself to create without shame, without judgment. You know, make your own judgment-free zone, especially when you're getting to the creation here, because it's you're tapping into just something really fantastic here. Anymore? Yeah, Scorpio. Because really, this is a fantastic reading here, Scorpio. Anymore? Okay. And you know, let's switch back over here, Scorpio. You know, I feel like that because your last card here is the healing card. I don't even know if I told you your cards. You had the Earth card in reverse, the Witch bottle upright, and then this is the Heal in reverse. And I feel like that there is some healing that needs to be done, Scorpio, because we're in this place of where we're thinking about destiny here. And the nice thing about when I think of the Wheel of Fortune is it's you take that and you create your fortune, you know, you create your destiny, but it's just doing that creation. If we get into this place of where we doubt our abilities and we think that, you know, our creation is just sort of meh, you know, like it's garbage, or, you know, whatever, we diminish that our creativity, then we're diminishing our destiny. And two, Scorpio, not to do things I feel like that don't resonate with you. You know, if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't feel natural, I say first, and that's an interesting one. You know, it's going to be one of those things first. If I say check the way that you're doing it, you know, if something deep down, like let's say for example, if you like dancing, and you know in your heart of hearts that dancing is your jam, and you're trying to do it in a classical setting, and it's not lining up with you. It's not syncing up. You're having a good time kind of, but maybe it's too rigid for you. Maybe it's too formal. Then switch it up. Try maybe going for a more kind of contemporary or contemporary? Yeah, I think so. I think that's the word. My words have been kind of my lexicon's a little off today. But try a different style. Maybe try doing some hip hop dancing, or maybe do some, I don't know, maybe go out clubbing one night. Just maybe just need to shake it one night. I don't know, Scorpio. But first start there. I feel like if we're finding some kind of dissonance, and then afterwards, if that's still not quite the jam, then maybe you've gotten everything that you need out of this little journey, little chapter here, and maybe it's time to think about some other things to venture. And that's not to say that dancing won't come back into your realm, but maybe there are some other skills that you might need to pick up, and then to make it so that then all this dancing will all come together. It's working with the energies, and I know that can be kind of vague, and it's just like, come on, Justin, give me more. But Scorpio, if you want more, just manifest it. And it really is just create it. Whatever it is that you want, you can. This is your destiny, and the nice thing, it's within the palm of your hands. It's just what do you want? Get it. I dig that, Scorpio. That was fluid. I love that. We're leaving it there. I love your readings. And if you like that as well, give it a thumbs up. Scorpio, I've been doing now we're just chit-chatting. I've been doing some just like a lot of research here as of late, really just cramming. And one thing that caught my eye was, I was looking into the different decans of Cancers. Each sign is split up by I think it's a certain amount of dates, and it's within every sign's got 10 degrees, and each sign has a different influence. So you can have, for example, with Cancers, I might have the sun was in Cancer for me when I was born. You can either be the first first little chunk is a cancer. They're just Cancer all day. The second decan, where I fall into, is a Cancer with a bit of Scorpio flavor. And so I think that's why we get along so well, Scorpio. Because I was just like, what is this bond? Our energies are always really tight. And honestly, I don't have a lot of Scorpio in my placement. The only place that I have Scorpio in my placement is Pluto. And that's more of a generational type of energy, But your energy is great, Scorpio. That's all I'm trying to say here. I just love talking about your energy. Subscribe. Hit that bell button. I think I skipped something. Share. It's wait a minute. Share this thing, Scorpio. If you know someone who's going through this, because this can be tough, especially if we're feeling kind of blocked and we're thinking about real kind of big things, destiny and manifestation and all of that. That can be a lot. So let's share this thing. And then lastly, since we're talking about Cancer, come over and check out my channel. Well, if you have Cancer in your placements, or maybe you're dealing with a Cancer, want to know how we tick, come check out the Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there, discuss lunar shenanigans and all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card so I can get you out of here. Scorpio, I dig that. So with here, you got the Two of Wands here. And then with your surprise, or with the Oracle card, we have the Experience in reverse. And here's what I like about this, Scorpio. I feel like this experience being in reverse right now is the experience that is going to be coming within this month. I think that this is something where right now, there's a tool here. There's something that the Magician is trying to unlock in you. I feel like Higher Self is trying to bring something to your attention. A level up is getting ready to happen here. You're getting ready to get some wisdom. It's just keeping that momentum and taking action and going taking the path that resonates with you. Because And you know, if you do decide to go like, well, let's just see, Scorpio, you know, I'm gonna kick it with you. But at some point, you know, if we're noticing that the dissonance is still kind of happening, you know, it might be time to switch gears, but just something to be mindful of. Be very, you know, try to be really aware, you know, really just going through life, but especially this month, you know, as we're trying to figure out how to work with this energy, Scorpio. So just something to keep in mind here. But ultimately, I think this is going to be really a fantastic month for you. I think that there's going to be a lot of, I feel like there's going to be a lot of growth and a lot of wisdom coming from this. You know, I'm excited to see where this gets to on our next reading. So I'll leave that there, Scorpio. Stay safe out there. And you do your thing, Scorpio. You just raise that vibration through the roof. Because I tell you what, I do, and I love all the readings. You know that, but you know, every now and again, Scorpio, we get in a groove that I'm just like, yes, I'm with it. So did I say, yeah, we stayed safe, we raised the vibration. You know what? I'll catch you on the next one. Later.